You know those emails that we get that say like, hey, what should I read?
Oh, those ones.
Also send money to Africa ones.
Yeah, those are different.
Oh, okay.
And they say, well, I want to read comics. What should I read?
Yeah, I get that one a lot.
That's what this is.
This table?
iFanboy is brought to you by GoDaddy.com and Netflix.com.
Welcome to another episode of iFanboy, the comic book discussion show. My name is Ron Richards, and I'm here with
Conor Kilpatrick.
And I am Josh Flanagan. Like we said, we often get questions, hey, what should I read? And that's all the information we get. So
What's good?
Yeah, what's good?
We thought we'd take a step back this year.
We'd look at everything that has had us very excited recently, this year. In 2009 so far, what's the stuff that we've really connected with and been excited about?
There have been a couple of old titles or old characters that have been really good. There's been some new titles that have been worth checking out. So, and it's been a good year so far, I think.
Yeah.
It's important to note before we start, there's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
This is just some of the
This
good
is
stuff.
sampling.
Yes.
Yeah. We have a whole room of the stuff that
We have love for lots of books beyond this one.
Yes.
Yeah, so
not
don't
just
write.
these. Yeah. Yeah.
No love for fill in the blank.
Yes.
There's a moratorium on
Because
that.
there could be love for it, and you're making love to it. So
And then it got dirty.
it got weird.
One thing.
So many things wrong with that.
One thing that I think Josh and I can both agree on is the Superman books.
Yeah.
All four of them, although you don't read Supergirl. Although you should.
Yeah, I know, I will.
But all four of them, as a whole, are real good.
It's an odd moment in time.
It is, and I remember specifically when it started up, I thought, I don't want to buy all those Superman books.
Real
At one
quick,
point.
Superman, Action Comics, Supergirl, and Superman World of New Krypton.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be Superman Year One, Origins, whatever they're calling it, that's coming out.
The announcement came out that said Superman is not going to be in the Superman book, and I thought,
And all hell
That's a
all
bad
hell broke
decision.
loose.
that's stupid. It's a good book, though.
Yeah. Well, so you got James Robinson and Rucka writing.
James Robinson writes Superman. James Robinson and Rucka write Action together,
Right.
and then James Robinson writes
and
Rucka writes World of New Krypton.
Right.
I'm sorry. Rucka writes Action. Robinson
Yes.
writes Superman, and Rucka and Robinson write World of New Krypton together. And Sterling Gates writes Supergirl, and Geoff Johns is going to write the Origin book, and they're
And then
all really good.
Artist-wise, and Supergirl, everyone's raving about Jamal Iglesias.
Jamal
Carl Eagles has stepped up.
Yeah.
You know, he's gotten better.
Pete Woods is doing a really good job on New World of New Krypton.
Gary Frank's going to do the Geoff
Origin
Johns
book.
project.
And I like Renato Gaitis a lot on Superman.
Yeah, it works really well. It's nice.
They're transitioning artists to Action, but the one thing I really like is that it's a big story. It's a big, long story, and it fills 4 books.
The other side of that being that it is admittedly a little difficult to jump in, although I think you can to a certain extent. One of the cool things about all the World of New Krypton books is that they're all numbered.
Yeah.
They have a little thing so they can tell you what order
There's
they're
a little
in.
They've done
shields.
before.
Yeah, they did in the 90s.
It didn't work so well.
But I'd say that this is the first time...
Then it works.
This is the first time that I can recall where the main superhero, which is Superman, has books worthy of you saying, "Well, these books are really good," which
They are
shouldn't
really
be
good.
that way,
Yeah.
but it is, and it has been for a while. So it's a really great time for Superman.
It's very immersive.
Yeah.
I feel like when I'm reading the books, I'm in this large story that's going on. And throughout 4 books, and it's not like you really get your money's worth out of it because there's so much going on. There's multiple plot lines.
Well, you know, like a guy like Greg Rucka does not half-ass anything.
No.
Right.
And the stuff that he's doing, I'm really liking a lot.
And I think this is where you see James Robinson's strength.
Yeah.
Is where there's multiple long-form stories
Well,
going
a lot
on.
of people were not thrilled with the sort of first bit of stuff that he did on Superman, and I have found that even in Starman, the stuff that he's really well known for, he does take a little while to get going and to get his hands wrapped around them and to build up the things that make it worth it later. And I think he's hit his stride.
Yep.
It's been
And the interesting characters, Mon-El is the Star Superman. He's really interesting. It's turning out to be a very interesting character. The kids at the Star of Action Comics, and they're also really interesting.
And I didn't want to didn't think I'd like any of this stuff,
Yeah.
and I really do.
Yeah.
World of New Krypton also is probably my favorite of them because it's just Superman in a different setting, and it focuses because it has to focus on his character because everybody else has powers.
He's on New Krypton, so they're all Kryptonians, so they're all like
changes
him.
the paradigm. Of,
He's not special because he's special because of who he is, not because of what he does.
Yes, which is great.
So
Now, Ron, you
I've been very excited for the Flash Rebirth project.
Yeah.
When it was announced last year at San Diego, I think I ran right up to Geoff Johns that night and thanked him because Flash has been so bad for so long. It's been like 2 or 3 years now of awfulness.
If not more.
So you got Geoff Johns, Ethan Van Sciver, bringing back Barry Allen and doing kind of the rebirth treatment like they did with Green Lantern 5-6 years ago now.
Jesus.
First couple of issues have been out. It's fantastic. This is the event of the summer. I'm very happy to have.
It's been damn good so far. This is 2 guys who really want to do a good job. Again, that's evident. Like, they're putting in the work.
Yep.
They're putting in a lot of thought. We talked to Geoff Johns about the book on a previous episode. At length.
It's good to see. It's unlike Superman. Flash is selling a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's pretty. I mean, this kind of miniseries brings it to the forefront of the attention, makes an event out of it, and then hopefully this leads the momentum into the Flash ongoing book, much similar to how it's done with Green Lantern now.
Yes,
which
for years.
For years, yeah, for like 5 years.
And from that interview, you talked to him. He plans on riding into the. He's not leaving Flash. He's
riding the lightning.
He's staying with Barry and he's staying with Hal, and so I assume Flash will be as interesting as Green Lantern.
It would behoove us to mention Green Lantern as one of the best things this year because it is, but we're doing a whole show about Green Lantern
later.
Yeah, so tune into that one when that one comes out.
So it would be on this table if not for the show it's going to get.
Exactly.
A nice surprise has been Boom Studios in general. Mark Waid is now the editor-in-chief of Boom
You're
Studios.
starting to see the books that he has brought up come out, and it's been great.
The best one's been Irredeemable, which Mark Waid's writing himself, and it's basically taken Superman.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he really wants to write Superman, but they never will give him the book.
Yeah.
So now he's doing an evil Superman.
Yeah.
It's almost like a.
It's the Superman like character fall from grace and I mean I talked to him at Emerald City Con a few weeks ago. You can check out that episode, and he says that it's not like it's ongoing. Like this is gonna last.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting. Just wonder where
because
it's
it's a
going to go.
finite story. Yeah, exactly.
It's basically what happens to Superman goes nuts.
Yep.
How do you fight that? How do you survive?
How do you deal with it?
If Superman had to read comments about him on a message board, what would happen?
Exactly.
It's really what what I feel like. Like, no one appreciates me.
Yep.
Screw this.
Yep.
And it's been really nice, one of those nice surprises. We all took a shot with it. You don't normally take a shot with Boom books, but it's been really nice.
I mean the title is great. I think the character design is great. I really like it's an interesting because it's a world that we have no insight into.
Right.
So every issue has kind of revealed a little more, and I find that's what makes it easier to come back.
Mark
to.
Waid's on a bit of a renaissance, I think.
Yeah, I think he's getting his light. I mean, I think 52 took a lot out of him all those years ago.
52 broke a bunch of those guys for a while. It took a while to recombine.
Yeah,
we just lost Rucka for a year.
Yeah, exactly. No, it did.
Rucka.
Yeah.
Grucka. That's his handle on a message board. G Rucka.
It should be.
Grucka.
He's Ruckish.
A good surprise, at least for me, and I think you're curious about it, at least, is Jersey Gods.
I have them.
Yeah, you have them.
You haven't read
Well, Jersey Gods from Image Comics. Interesting because it's very similar in look to Godland.
I hear a lot of Kirby talk around it.
Yeah, it's very cosmic Kirby looking. They're big, these kind of space kind of warriors, and there's a lot of Kirby crackle and things like that. But the story is really interesting because one of the characters crashes in a mall in New Jersey and meets a woman and falls in love with her. Mm-hmm. And so it's taking the cosmic insanity fighting, big kind of thing, Titans kind of clashing.
With romance.
And then combining it with mundane.
That is Kirby-esque.
Yeah. But then combining it with mundane, everyday, like dating. Like,
that's cool.
Like, is he gonna call me back? I don't know. Like, and so it's really kind of interesting in that way.
Those pages are absurd.
Yeah, the art is beautiful.
Yeah.
This is very throwbacky. Now, you guys love. You guys could both marry Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning. If you could take a guy.
Yeah, we'd all be happy.
Listen, I've only met one of them, so I'll take my chances.
You guys could go to Vermont and I'll get married.
The War of Kings event from Marvel Comics has been a high point for me this year.
Well, we've been through a lot of Marvel events over the past, what seems like decades. And, they keep coming, and this has been one of the ones that's delivered. Very much so. In the spirit that a lot of the Annihilation and Annihilation Conquest did as well, where it's more under the radar, but each time they do it, Abnett and Lanning's stuff gets more notoriety, so more people are checking this one out.
So what are the books this involves?
Well, what I found interesting about this is this has been kind of a slow build over the past 2 years because Nova, it really kind of started, the Annihilation happened, and that was kind of Keith Giffen kind of architected, then Abnett and Lanning kind of took the reins of it, and part of it was there was a Nova ongoing, and the joke was that, no Nova ongoing lasts, but this one is in the high 20s.
We're into its second year now.
Yeah,
Beyond
well past the second year, and Nova's been great. You got on board with Nova.
I read the
liked
first
it.
hardcover. I love the hardcover.
Great stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy comes
Well, I was
along.
just going to say, a year later, Guardians of the Galaxy comes along, and a title that I would never thought you would even read, much less like.
Well, the strength of their work on Nova made me read it, and it's a different book. Nova's about one character for the most part, where Guardians of the Galaxy is a big
Cast,
ensemble cast, and they both work.
And they're both kind of they're both a little mix of science fiction, action, like
humor.
Not the science fiction boring, slow. I mean, like kind of action-packed, kind of swashbuckling science fiction.
Not science fiction.
Well, yeah, no, but it is science fiction because it's space and all that kind of stuff.
We have
Like more
different
Star Trek-y.
definitions.
Yeah, exactly. but it's all kind of culminating now in this event, War Kings, which is taking the Inhumans, taking the Shi'ar, taking the Guardians of the Galaxy, taking Nova, taking the Starjammers, taking all these characters.
The basic premise is that the Inhumans, who are descended from the Kree, say, screw this. They take over the leadership of the entire Kree Empire, and then they go to war with the Shi'ar, who are being led by Vulcan, who is Scott Summers' crazy brother.
Yeah,
and so the Guardians of the Galaxy are in the middle of it, and Nova's mixed up in it.
Yeah.
It's just
It's very old school Marvel action.
It is, and that's what's great about it. It's space opera. It's fun. It's warring royal families and romance, but not like not.
It's also relatively self-contained within these 3 books.
Oh, and that's the thing. You can read Nova and not read any of the other books and enjoy it. You can read Guardians of the Galaxy and not read any of the books and enjoy it. Although right now, it's in the midst of the event, it's a little hard.
No, but I mean, it's only these 2 books plus the mini. It's not like it's the spanning of the whole Marvel universe.
There are
You
other
gotta pick
offshoots.
up 18 books.
You don't need. There's the Darkhawk Ascension or something.
Yeah, there's
like
a couple of little. Yeah, there's a couple of different. Like 1 or 2 miniseries.
Kingbreaker.
Yeah.
I didn't buy that because I don't like the name. Yeah. Kingbreaker. I don't know. It bugged me.
Yeah. Well, I don't really like Vulcan. It was about Vulcan, I think.
Well, he's kind of a dick in it, so I assume he will receive his comeuppance.
One would hope.
You've been waiting for that for years since they brought him in. I mean, that was not a good introduction.
So those are some of the good kind of superhero books that we've enjoyed.
The more mainstreamy ones. There's a couple. We'll talk one or at least one, but
so
more mainstream.
We'll come back from the break. We'll dive into some of the other stuff.
iFanboy is brought to you by GoDaddy.com. Web hosting from GoDaddy includes 99.9% uptime, 24/7 support, and free access to Hosting Connection, the place to install over 30 free applications sure to help you get the most from your hosting plan and website. If you want to make an impact online, GoDaddy.com has what you need. .com names starting as low as $1.99, plus world-class hosting, fast and easy website builders, and much more. Make sure to check out revision3.com/GoDaddy for all of iFanboy's GoDaddy deals and codes. Oh, Netflix, honestly, where would I be without you? Thanks for sponsoring this episode of iFanboy. You can rent over 100,000 titles online, including a whole lot of Blu-ray titles with free shipping both ways to your home. There are now over 40 shipping centers, so almost all deliveries happen in just one business day. Plans start from $4.99, and as a new member, you get a no-risk 2-week free trial membership. Check it out at www.netflix.com/iFanboy, and remember the www.
I was very, very excited that the next installment of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen came out, this time through Top Shelf. Alan Moore and Kevin O'Neill have left Wildstorm in DC, and now they're on their own again. Actually, it's a joint production. It's not just Top Shelf, it's also Knockabout, who published books in the UK. So to say it's just Top Shelf isn't exactly correct. The last thing that came out was the Black Dossier, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Now, a lot of people... Yeah, a lot of people didn't really get a lot out of it. I can't say I liked parts of it, and I was sort of bored by others. What the dossier was, it was not a specific volume or story. It was supposed to be basically a secret files.
Secret files, yeah.
But then it sort of spun out of control and became something else because maybe Alan Moore's a little eccentric, but God bless him for it.
He's getting a little bit more and more eccentric as the years go on.
It was very creative.
It was.
Absolutely was.
There was a lot of neat stuff in there, and there's a lot of work that went into it. But it wasn't a specific narrative in the sense that we've been used to. Century, which is a 3-volume series, and the first one is 1910. It takes place in
1910.
Exactly, and there'll be one in the 60s and so on and so forth. This is the 3rd volume. And for
League of
me,
Extraordinary Gentlemen.
yes, there was the
This is the first volume of Century.
It's very confusing.
Yeah, it's very confusing. Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. Well, there was a 6-issue miniseries. That's volume 1. That was the first one. Then there was the second volume 2, which is also 6 issues. That was the Martian invasion.
Yep.
And then there's this.
Then there's Black Dossier. It was
Black
3.
Dossier. Yeah, but Black Dossier was like a
But still, it was volume 3.
No, this
is volume 3. Black Dossier is
That's how they refer to it.
I know, but it's not.
Okay.
I'm going to go with what Alan Moore says.
I've got 3 big hardcovers. Those are 3 volumes.
But so this is a departure in terms of format because previously League of Extraordinary Gentlemen came out in issues, and this comes out in a little thicker, almost like mini trade
It's almost bigger
size.
than there's going to be 3 of them. It's almost bigger than 2 issues. So it's a good deal. That's like $9.
It's like 72 pages. Something
Yeah.
like that.
I
$8.
I really enjoyed this book. It was a lot of things I liked, and the second time I read it, I enjoyed it even more. It's strange. He's definitely gone further away from where he started, but it's beautiful.
Kevin O'Neill's art is great in this.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's
And
really,
it's
really
colored
good.
really well, and
Yeah.
it's just. It's worth it. It's the kind of thing that you can keep reading it, and it keeps giving you more back. It's very much worth the price, and I'm very much looking forward to the future ones.
Yeah.
Oh, we're in the Joe Kelly renaissance.
Joe Kelly's having a great year. Joe Kelly, he's been around for 10 plus years. He worked in the 90s. He worked at Marvel. He did some stuff in Deadpool and things like that.
X-Men.
He's been on
X-Men.
JLA.
He did Superman and yeah.
Big books.
Past couple years, past year, he's put out a bunch of Kraton work through Image. And recently, I Kill Giants was collected in trade paperback, and there's also Four Eyes, which is a great series, and Bad Dog.
There's Bang Tango through Vertigo.
Yeah.
He's doing
a lot of stuff.
Spider-Man.
He's got a lot. He's been doing a couple arcs on Amazing Spider-Man, which have been great. Joe Kelly's having a great year. So pretty much anything written by Joe Kelly this year is
But
a good
the
bet.
cool thing about it is, though, is
They're all
that
different.
they're all very different.
Yeah.
Four Eyes, which is I'm in love with, it's just coming at a slower pace because the artist takes longer to draw it. That's really simply the reason. And I'm cool with that because it doesn't look like anything else. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I Kill Giants is almost like his.
Would you say this is the best? Would you say this is the best?
It's different. They're all different.
I Kill Giants is an example. It's an emotional story about a girl kind of growing up and dealing with life and loss and things like that. It's not superhero. It's not there's a little fantasy element to it. This is the kind of book that you can hand to somebody who doesn't read comics. Like kind of like in the same way that like Box Office Poison or stuff like that. This is an example of a great story told in graphic novel format.
I think what comes out of it from reading it is that this is a work of a creator who's put his heart and his personality into the thing that he's doing. It's like he's laid a lot of things out there bare. It's very emotional. And what's funny is that it's very hard to explain what it is without giving away what it is.
Yeah.
You kind of just have to go with it because it does change. Your expectations of what it is from the beginning to what it becomes are very different. It's just a good story.
iFanboy Book of the Month.
iFanboy's June Book of the Month.
J.M. Ken Nomura, great artist. Look out. Keep
Yeah, I mean,
looking for him.
Joe said that he'd had this story for a really long time, and he was waiting for the right artist, and he found the guy. You know what I mean? Like he's this combination of anime or manga and European comics all at the same time, and it doesn't look like anything else. It doesn't feel like anything else.
Yep, it's cartoony, it's whimsical, but it's also whimsical, but it's also easy to connect to, and the storytelling is top notch, and this one's great. And
If you had to give an award to his best book, would that be it?
I would say I Kill Giants has been his.
I want to see the end of Four Eyes.
Well, right now.
Right now? Well, that's the only one that's finished.
Up against the wall. Make a decision.
I'm not doing it. I'm not playing. Alan Moore's got his rules.
Umbrella Academy. Dallas.
Yes,
The second volume.
Second volume of Gerard Way and Gabriel Ba's series from Dark Horse. The first volume was kind of, all right, is this going to be any good? And realized Gerard Way's got this great kind of imaginative, very Grant Morrison-inspired kind of world. The second volume was nothing but fun.
It was off the rails, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
Right.
I mean, they went to Vietnam. They fought in the war.
Time travel. The whole thing centers around the assassination of Kennedy.
I haven't read this yet, but I read the first trade and then waited for the second. But the first trade was great. And the second trade I heard is even better from what I've heard.
You're gonna love
story.
Well, it's because everything's set up, so there's no explanations in it. They just run with it.
Yep.
And the characters are all very well defined. But if you don't know what the Umbrella Academy is, it's like a superhero team of these genius kids that were assembled by a mad scientist.
Family type thing.
And they all kind of fight with each other and have different relationships, and then it just gets weird. After you've got that basis set up, there's time travel and secret organizations and
talking monkeys.
They never explain the talking monkeys. They just are.
Yep.
They're there.
That's sometimes the best way to go.
Imagine we live in a world with talking monkeys that just
totally
are.
fine.
Yeah.
I bet you a few of them do talk. Monkeys are
They're
usually
a little
sketchy.
shifty,
They're not to be trusted.
Can't really trust a monkey.
Them nor sharks. Dallas, to me, boy, there's just so many great things about it. Look at the art; doesn't look like anything else. It's a beautiful book. It really makes me rethink any of my own creative talent because there's just imagination.
It really does
oozing out of
represent
the
what's
book.
great about comics because you can't really do stories like this in other mediums very well without seeing goofy. But like Gerard Way is really good at this, and You hear less and less of the qualifications when talking about the book, but you still hear it sometimes. But he's really establishing himself.
In 2009, we've set a moratorium that if you want to talk about Umbrella Academy, I don't care what you think of My Chemical Romance.
Yeah,
and you just
can't. It's
it's over.
Yeah.
Everyone's made their point.
He's established his chops. He's good.
It was like movie reviews for The Watchmen. Everybody had to start with 3 paragraphs about what they thought about the book.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah. Josh and I could not be happier that in 2009, Garth Ennis has been able to do his Battlefields miniseries from Dynamite.
Absolutely. He had done for a while after Preacher. He'd gotten to do a lot of war books through Vertigo.
War stories.
And they didn't sell that well. And so he now at Dynamite, he's found a place where they let him do them again.
I feel like it's some sort of blood pact. Like, I'll give you the boys if you let me do this.
I don't think that's unreasonable.
I don't think at all either. Yeah.
He's doing 3-issue arcs. He's on 3 of them so far. There's been Dear Billy and Tankies. I'm just pointing randomly. They could be whatever. I don't know what's in the front.
You're right. You got him
the
so
first
far.
at the end of last year's was Night
Witches. Yeah. Was I right? Really?
Tankies.
Oh wow, I was right.
Yeah, you are.
They're all different.
I wasn't right.
They're all different.
Totally
types.
different.
Like he's been taking us to places in the war which
war?
say World War II. Sorry, Americans may not know as much about, because Americans get a lot about D-Day and Normandy and the March to Berlin and all that stuff.
Night Witches was about Russian female pilots, which these are all based on if not true events, but true things that happened in the war. So Night Witches was Russian female fighter pilots. Tankies is about British tank brigades.
And British tanks apparently were pieces of shit.
And yeah, they were. And Dear Billy was just a horrific tale about
Pacific Theater, a British nurse and air squadron,
and she was captured by the Japanese. Just horrible, but great stories. But it's all different aspects of the war in small chunks. The only thing I would say, I'd like them to be longer.
Yeah,
that's fair.
But I like that he's switching around to do a lot of things.
But that's because they're good. It's like I want more Twinkies.
And that's always
when I buy the Twinkie pack and there's only 2. I eat them. I'm like, I would like a third.
But sometimes
last time you actually bought Twinkies.
The third isn't a good idea.
I bought 6 months ago. There's a bodega right across the street. They got Twinkies.
Do you regularly like? I imagine for me, I think I bought a pack of Twinkies once in like 5 years.
No, that was a good stretch in middle school.
Yeah, and the cupcakes.
No, middle school's different. I mean, as an adult,
you're like, I haven't had Twinkies.
I'd go for a Twinkie. Yeah. Like I would get a cupcake.
Cupcakes.
Yeah.
I get one of each and then alternate. This is a different show. We'll do a cupcake show later.
Yeah.
I don't think we will.
So speaking of renaissances.
Totally, G.I. Joe. First of all, IDW got the G.I. Joe license from Devil's Due. I guess they had it last, and put out 3 books to coincide with the movie that's coming out.
But they don't
But they got nothing to do with the movie. They're all on their own. And
the G.I. Joe's in the zeitgeist again.
And they're really good.
Shockingly so. G.I. Joe Cobra has been, it's been Pick of the Week twice already.
G.I. Joe Cobra is a miniseries following Chuckles infiltrating Cobra. G.I. Joe Origins.
It sounds retarded.
But it's not. It's like a Spy 24-esque, violent and serious and gritty military tale. Yeah. G.I. Joe Origins is now an ongoing series, which was a mini. It started as a mini, but these have been so popular, telling the origin of the G.I. Joe team and then
Who's
G.I. Joe.
writing it though?
This is Chuck Dixon.
Okay.
He knows his military stuff.
No, I'm sorry. Origins Hammer. There's so many books. G.I. Joe was Chuck Dixon and G.I. Joe Cobra was...
Right, no, I'm getting at Hammer. Hammer's right.
And Mike Costa. It was their co-writing.
Origins written by Hammer, who wrote the original Marvel series, which was so great, and which also the IDW is putting the trades out if you want to read the original Marvel books. Yeah. They somehow got that license.
This isn't related to that, though, and that's important. This is a new paradigm.
No, but he's good at it. He's good at it.
I know. What I'm saying is, if you're thinking of picking up these books, you don't have to have read anything beforehand.
No.
And a part of you might be saying, I don't want a G.I. Joe book. Listen, I swear upon somebody's grave.
Listen to the Blue Man.
I mean, just G.I. Joe Cobra alone. Just read it, and if you are not blown away, I will be shocked.
G.I. Joe Cobra, you could take the G.I. Joe logo off the cover, and it would just be a really cool espionage story. Just call it Chuckles.
And by all rights, this should be a horrible, horrible book.
Just call it Hawaiian Nights.
And the comments that we get, on the Pick of the Week thread, is people are themselves stunned, but everybody who's read it is blown away by the quality.
And G.I. Joe Origins is a really strong sort of military tale, because Hammer was in the military, he was in Vietnam. Yeah. He writes with authenticity. There's a lot of stuff about formations and the tactics and things like that.
And even the main title...
it's a little bit cartoonier, but still.
Well, the thing that does it, I think, is that everybody in the main G.I. Joe book is running around in their actual full uniform. So, they'd be standing there having lunch with, the grenade straps and stuff.
But not in the minis. In G.I. Joe Origins, they're just wearing regular fatigues. And
all the The vehicles are in the regular G.I. Joe book, but
See, I like
still
that kind of
good.
stuff. Yeah.
No, and it's fine. It's just a different kind of thing, and it's also strong and it's well done.
Right.
It is.
But if you had to rank them, maybe Cobra Origins and then the regular. But this has been a nice surprise of the year, I think, for me.
There is a movie tie-in book which I don't know anything about.
It's a prequel book like they did for the Star Trek movie, which I did.
Just saying, we don't vouch for that.
Right, but I think for me, if you take all these books, this is the biggest surprise of the year.
G.I. Joe Cobra for me.
Yeah.
I
mean, you wouldn't expect that. I didn't expect to get 24 in comic form when I bought G.I. Joe Cobra. Well, that's what you got with Hawaiian shirts.
It's a good year so far. I don't think
We're only little past the midpoint, and it's.
I feel like we haven't been suffering a lot of the huge overhype for stuff.
No, yeah, it's been a subtle year.
Yeah, last year was a lot of this thing's going to be great, and now it's just like you just find the good comics, you find the stuff you like, and
well, because this year we don't have the Secret Invasion, we don't have the Final Crisis. We just have
Dark Reign has been in Marvel, but it's
not an event. It's just a status quo.
Yeah, exactly. So
the Marvel event is War of Kings, really. I mean, and there's not really a DC event, so.
Yeah. But the important thing is it's good comics. So
before anybody asks, the Batman stuff is too new to make a best of the year. It's just starting. I know people would be like, "What about Batman and Robin?"
You'll weigh in on that.
It's all good, but it's too soon.
Too soon.
Too much.
End of the year. I'll tell you then.
So I'm sure we left a book out. Write us. Tell us which ones we did. Email us at contact@ifanboy.com.
And you can send a voicemail if you want to talk about these books. You can keep it short and sweet, around 30 seconds. Tell us where you're from at 888-FANBOYS, which is 326-2697.
Great books all around. You want to talk about some of them, you go to ifanboy.com. You can comment on this show. We write stuff about books all the time. If you're looking for recommendations, you're looking about stuff you want to think about in comics, there's all sorts of great writing
or
going
cupcakes.
on.
You want to talk about Twinkies?
We haven't. There might be a Twinkie article. I can't promise it. Why is G.I. Joe Cobra like a Twinkie?
No, that was Battlefields. Why is Battlefields?
Yeah, while you're there, you can go to...
That's a good article. Excuse me. I'm going to write that idea down.
And then all sorts of written reviews and things like that. While you're there, you can go to ifanboy.com/store, and you can pick up a
lovely
Power
t-shirt.
Responsibility Quotient Graph t-shirt that...
limited edition, just $15, and you could also sign up to be an iFanboy member there, which gets you all sorts of perks and stuff like that. Part of the
fancy.
So go to ifanboy.com/store.
The books multiplied while you were talking.
There's a lot.
Wow.
I can't wait for the
Which
Flash.
ones were mine?
And then we're back to this business.
It doesn't look any different than
There we go. That's what I wanted. There we go. Perfect. Wait,
Are you trying to make it into a point? Like a rhinoceros?
like a Frank Miller character. Is that what's going on here?
More Ed Grimley.
I really must say.
What the fuck?
What are you doing?
Shoot me.
Oh, Jesus.
I can't. I need to go to the bathroom. It's because like left and right. You know what I mean?